generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia
I'm on my own, broken and alone. I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome. It is time for the ACGL COD Community Clash, and by all means, I'm joined by Mr. Trout today. How are you doing, my good sir?
You, Mr. Nick, I am so excited for this event. It feels like I am here, like before rugby match. You know what I mean? When you get that funny feeling, but like in your stomach, like before you go into that first tackle, same thing.
Absolutely. Well, I've got the butterflies in my stomach. Can't wait to get this one going. The players are ready. Everybody's on time. It's kind of a little bit weird for me getting a cast going, and everybody's ready to go. The teams are ready to go. The players, the casters, it's all coming together. And guys, I've been out of Call of Duty for quite a while, just trying to get things going. Very excited to be back myself. Happily joined by my man Trout here today. We've got an exciting game, and it's none other than the Phoenix team taking on Bleh Gaming today. It should be a good matchup. Just to quickly run through, we've got a couple of maps that we'll be starting things off with. Of course, it's Gunrunner, Hardpoint, Arcliff, Search and Destroy, Domination, back to Gunrunner, and then we've got Petrograd, and then guess what? We got a little bit more Gunrunner kicking things off. So by all means, it's going to be a very, very hot day today, as some people think, I know we had a little bit of a chat early on. You said, is this a 3-0? And we know how strong this Phoenix team can be. Do you have any predictions before we go into this one?
Yeah, look, I know this Phoenix team. I've casted them before, and they've certainly got the fire of the Phoenix. So I definitely think it's going to be a 3-0, but I love Game 5s, and I know everyone in chat loves Game 5s, so we can always hope for the best. And you know, it's Call of Duty. Upsets are certainly possible. But like I said, I'm going to stick to my guns and say 3-0 to Phoenix. And I think if we really watch out for it, the Search and Destroy might be super electric on that Arcliff peak, and we might see some really, really cool snipes coming out. And that's what I want to see, and I'm sure everyone in chat would like to see the same.
Hopefully we can keep up to the pace that will be set by these players here today. Call of Duty community, it is finally happening. We have gathered here together to make sure that this one is going to be going down. Remember, this is the group stages. We've essentially got 3 progressions of the tournament phase or set or series. It is going to be the group stages. Then we're going into the Challenger knockout, where there is 3,000 Rand in cash up for grabs. And then, of course, 10,000 Rand in the Premier knockout side of things. So, without further ado, I believe it's time to cross to the gameplay and time to jump into the action that is Call of Duty. It is Phoenix taking on the good old Bleh Gaming.
Oh man, am I excited. Now tell me, Nick, before we jump into it and before we get rolling and rocking, what would you do with 10,000 Rand if you came first in this league?
That is a tough question. I'd try to get myself a holiday. I don't know how that would work out, but at this
if anyone
point,
in this community deserves it, it's definitely you, man.
I think it's the whole ACGL team, to be honest. The guys have been grinding so hard over this past period, and listen, from our side of things, we're just excited to get this one going. Of course, now, rather than talking about money, let's talk about the players that we have here today. And representing the lineup from Bleh Gaming, we've got Flash, Volbra, Zoom, and Smash. And how about we can jump directly on through and see what they're going to be able to do on this one.
Well, as you know, with starting off here on Gunrunner, this first hill is pretty much who can keep you off the best, and then it's a fight for the spawns in the back there as you move to P2, and that's the main objective of this first hill. And on average, from the stats from the CDR, I'm not sure what our stats are here in South Africa, it is only 14 seconds that is required on this first hill, so we'll have to see how that plays out.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a tricky hold in the beginning. Always know it's all about trying to control this back end at the moment. And anybody standing out from Bleh Gaming that you want us to be able to keep our eyes on?
Hey man, I'm a sucker for Smash, and I like Belpre. Those are my 2 probably favorites out of that team. So keep an eye on them. They might be lighting up the feed every now and again, possible triples and doubles. But anyways, if we're going to talk about the real star players in this, we're all going to keep our eyes on Frosty, and we all know heated debate whether or not he's the best player in South Africa. And I got my money on Cobbs. He's certainly up there, but it's a heated battle between the 2. And if he can pop off, there's nothing that can stop this Phoenix roster.
Yeah, all right. So I'm going to jump on board with Frosty on my side of things. Currently just holding on the points on the heel, clearly playing with sub in hand. So currently, just to maybe educate the people watching at the moment, what do you think is the most predominant setup in terms of AR and sub combinations?
So it's interesting now with the most recent meta changes between the teams as a stage, because we do most of the pro teams here in South Africa at least abide by the GA, so the meta shifts with that. And for a stage, they did ban the 10 mil, which is what Frosty is frying with right now. and that just ups the damage a bit of the MP5. So I'd say and right now it's probably a 3-2 split for AR and SMG, and the SMG will only be the MP5, and the AR is obviously going to be the M4. But before the meta shift, it was more of a split between 3 ARs and 2 SMGs. It was just it's a weird middle ground that we're still trying to be found. But now I think it's sort of come together now with this whole 3 SMGs and 2 ARs. I think that's the most safe bet to go with.
Yeah, I mean, at the moment from a Bleh side of things, I mean, not doing too badly, essentially holding on. I think, let's be honest, going into this one's the clear favorites are on the side of Phoenix. But Bleh Gaming have something to be able to prove here, especially from an individual capacity. I think this team wants to show that they can shine through in some clutch moments. It's going to be difficult considering that they're going up against essentially what is arguably the top 2 team in the country at the moment. I mean, there's a lot of contest at the moment, exactly who that number 2 team is. Essentially, Astra, I've been seeing from the top side of things, has been the team to beat. Who do you think would be your top 3 teams in the country at this point?
White Rabbit Gaming, and then it's got to be this new Phoenix roster, and then Astra at number 1, and then at number 4 I'd have to put X1, or the new roster of X1 is also really, really up there. So that's going to be closely contested. But as we're talking along here, as you can see, this not going the way of Bleh, because they got the rotations off of that second hill there, got set up, had the spawns, but unfortunately Phoenix just bullied their way through, and now they've developed themselves a bit of a suitable lead here as they're looking to chain together their next hill as they are set up. However, favorable spawns are in favor of Bleh for P5.
Alright, and as we cross back, currently jumping on board with Smash, who's trying to break out of this environment but gets locked down. And at the moment, it's going to be a tough road ahead for them, especially considering they're back end of 90 points behind their opposition. When it comes down to a Gunrunner, what do you think are the key points for concern for the Bleh Gaming team at the moment?
You got to get those spawns, and you got to hold the hill, man. It's all good as well, all good and well if you get those spawns like they've been doing with all of these hills, and then they just get broken anyway. As much like the back of Frosty getting 2 pieces or 3 pieces, they just bully their way back into the hill. I think it's important to win those one-on-ones in the hill, and if you look at the stats at the moment, it's not looking so good for the boys over at Bleh. They're all pretty much double negative. Smash is having an exceptionally bad game. If he can maybe find 2 or 3 more kills when he needs to, the score might be absolutely different. But looking too strong is going to be Phoenix, and they are just walking. This is a walk in the park for them. You know what I mean? This looks like a well-oiled machine.
Yeah, once again, you can see those holding positions. I mean, Roasty from the one side just cutting off those angles down mid. Frosty on box, and he's making sure that he can use that heady whenever the rotations come in. And for right now, it's going to be a very, very difficult task from the Bleh Gaming team, as you mentioned. But it's definitely not over. I think hardpoint, it's quite tricky, them jumping into this game with such speed that their opposition brings to the fore. But once again, Frosty coming up the kills when he needs them as we try to jump back into that first-person perspective. I do apologize, guys. My COD casting or COD observer skill set will come back. I do promise. I'm doing my best to try give you guys the angles that you need. But yeah, we jump on board with Frosty yet again. I mean, the man is leading from the front currently with 25 and 7 deaths, seemingly unstoppable. We'll get the reload, but just like that, Flash will be able to come up with that trade. And so far from Bleh Gaming, it does look like they're trickling in a little bit too much, one at a time. They need to start trying to break these heals as units.
I definitely agree with you there 100%. This is looking like some real amateur hour here from the boys at Bleh. I mean, it's very hard to get set up and try to break a hill. Everyone wants to be the hero, right? But it's never going to work if you've got somebody set up in hill and somebody on his tail just ready to get that trade. So at the moment, the trades are just going the way of Phoenix. If you look at the stats, it's showing through heavily. I mean, they're all pretty much double positive, and everyone is almost double negative, except for Flash on the side of Bleh. They're going to need to pick something up, and quick, because it only takes 1 more hill for the boys over at Phoenix to take this map.
100%, and at the moment Flashy's getting himself slowly back into it, and so is Smash trying to find his way in. I think Smash is he's had a little bit of weight on his shoulders, maybe calling that a little bit of a commentator's curse from his side, but Flash is trying to lead from the front, trying to get those kills, but at the moment not being able to get enough heal time, and that's a considerable problem. As I mean, as we're approaching what is essentially the 200-point mark here for Phoenix Gaming, they have been looking unstoppable as Frosty is close to approaching that 30-point mark.
I just want to also point out that Bleh hasn't been able to get a single point off of a hard point ever since P2 on the first set of rotations, and we're already into the second set. This is just looking like an absolute walkover, and I mean, not to take away from Bleh, but Phoenix is really playing out of their skin. They're getting the shots when they need to. They got the jiggle picks coming through. And I mean, look at Frosty. He's 29 and 12. Man's just absolutely frying. It's just phenomenal to watch. You'd love to see that young talent coming through here in South Africa.
And at the moment, Roasty's currently working on the flank. It does look like the opposition managed to get themselves some points, but Roasty will get taken out from his side. At the moment, we jump back on board with Frosty, who's also trying to work his way towards the back end as they look to break this heal. Maybe a potential resurgence for Bleh, but doesn't look like it's going to last too long as they get a couple more points on the board. But with 30 seconds left on the hill, it's firmly gone in the favor of Phoenix. And should they ride this one out, they should come out clear on top of this HP.
Oh, absolutely. Realistically, there's probably only one good push left in from the boys over at Bleh, and it's just not looking good. If you look over here, you can see the panic really start to set in as they're all flooding one angle, and it's just lambs to the slaughter for the boys over at Phoenix. There's only 5 seconds needed, and I think it's quite safe to assume that this is going to be a GG right here and now.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is GGWP to the boys over at Phoenix as they pick up game number 1. It's hey, it was a little bit of a tough one, let's be honest, from the side of Bleh to go into that HP. Hopefully, as things slow down a little bit, as we go into Search and Destroy, they might have a little bit of an opportunity to essentially build themselves back into it. But it's going to be a tough uphill challenge nonetheless. As at the moment, it is going to be Phoenix taking game number 1. And congratulations to them, it has to be said, as we get ourselves set up for map number 2, which will be Arklov, and it is going to change the pace a little bit here, I think, coming into the map draft. Both of these teams deciding to rather take the draft than the predetermined map set. And as that goes across, it is game number 1, going Gunrunner. Hard points, going into the Search and Destroy. What do you think the team Bleh needs to focus on?
And I say this every single time I cast S&D, it works off of trades. If you can successfully get a kill, get out, and play your life, that immediately is such a huge advantage. It can come off of that first blood, or if you manage to pick up a 2-piece and then still get away. So the most important thing I'd say is first thing they need to do is get control of a site and then hold it properly, and then just play their life, get the trades, and then the rounds will go their way. But having said that, with the likes of, I don't know, Roasty My Toasty with that AR in hand, it's really, really hard to fight those people once they're up on their power positions. And on this Arklov peak, I mean, there's a lot of different plays that people can do. They can do a quick rush over onto B, get control of there, and that's the beauty of this map. It has everything and in between. It's got long range for sniping. It's got close range around the B bomb for SMGs. So, I mean, like I said, I'm going to go back to it. It's just got to be the whole getting your trades and staying alive, and then you can easily take this map. But other than that, I think it's just going to be a one-sided event, but I don't like saying that. I don't like saying that, but it's you know what I mean.
It's a bit of a tricky one to grasp at times, but for right now, we're hoping to see some kind of resurgence here from the lads, but it's going to be a tough one. Hey, to everybody in the chat, thank you for joining us here today. I really do appreciate you guys joining us for game number 1. Spread the word out, why don't you? Head out with a hashtag C3ZA as well, and by all means, let's spread the word. This is all about community here today. And for right now, I'm so glad that we've got this started. Game number 1, but with us going, let us go into game number 2. It's going to be some Search and Destroy on Arklov Peak. Trying to multitask here, getting used to it, as it does look like the players are ready. We should be good to jump in. Other than that, I want to find out your predictions in the chat. What do you think the final score is for the Search and Destroy? Do you think it is going to go in favor of Phoenix, the ever-rising Phoenix? You kind of almost, I feel like that name's dangerous, right? Because Phoenixes are known to die and then come back even strong. Yeah.
100%.
So when will the Phoenix die? Is it today? Is it tomorrow? We're going to have to wait and see. For right now, it is time to jump into game number 2. It is going to be Search and Destroy on Arklov.
Hell yeah. Yeah, the whole concept of a Phoenix dying, I think the resurgence of this team came when they had that roster change, and they are just looking phenomenal now. The new signed roster, they're just a whole different beast altogether. I'm not exactly sure who has got a sniper in hand. It is going to be Nova and Mickey. If you can jump aboard one of those, maybe one of them will get an opening pick. And as I say that, Nova gets first blood.
And it just transitioned too late. I'm blaming cod-clash. That wasn't me on that one.
Unlucky. Anyways, and for slight advantage going the way of Bleh. And this is what I was talking about. If they can play off of this now, use this man advantage to their advantage, they might be able to take the first round.
All right, so I'm going to hold tight here, and that's a great start here for the Bleh Gaming team at the moment. It's exactly what we wanted to be able to see from their side, and at the moment, Nova as well as Flash getting the opening kills for the team. I want to bring up that top-down view. It does look like all the players from Phoenix have rotated across. Now it's all about who can they pick off. Simtexes will get thrown over the roof. A connection will knock their opposition, but nothing just yet. I've been playing too much Warzone. I almost said that he knocked off some plates there. But for right now, Schemes managed to get a kill down on Smash. Zoom's going to be able to get that trade out. Rosie's going to be essentially one of the last left alive there once again. And it does look like... Oh, Toasty comes up with a massive three-piece. And just like that, he's right back in it. The bomb has been planted down. And just like that, they all go down. And cod-clash is not allowing me to switch in time, unfortunately. But Roasty, what an absolute beast. Is that Sheldon?
I did tell you got to keep your eyes on Mr. Roasty My Toasty with that AR in hand. That man shoots absolutely straight. A good turnaround there from the boys over at Phoenix. They did play very aggressively off the first bit of the round. And obviously Bleh capitalized on that, but they managed to come around, and then one massive play coming off of Roasty, then they managed to secure the round. 1-0 going the way of Phoenix.
All right, so Phoenix, they had the huge advantage on their side there. But it doesn't look like it really paid off, unfortunately, in the end, as Roasty came up super clutch. I do want to see who's going to be running out with the sniper rifle, but I'm more than likely going to jump on board here with Mickey, who seems to be pushing up mid.
I do like this push coming out of Phoenix. They are committing to a hard B right off the rip. And this is what I'm saying. If you can get control of the site quickly, you'll be able to get the bomb down. And then all of a sudden, the onus has now been shifted to the boys over at Bleh.
All right, Mickey pushes forward, and he's going to be able to pick up one. Dead silence was popped. So just giving an opportunity to push forward there. At the moment, as we take a look at top side, it doesn't look like full rotations have come through from the 3 remaining players. They are quite widespread from this Bleh Gaming roster, which means that trading is going to be extremely difficult. Flash, however, comes up with another one as bomb is down. It is currently a 3v2 situation. Come on, Codcaster, switch to Flash. Don't be so slow. There we go. Oh, Flash will get taken down, so Commentator's Curse, I do apologize, my friend, as Nova's left with a sniper rifle in hand. Will be able to spot out one, and he takes the kill down on Roasty My Toasty, as it looks like we have 20 seconds left on the clock. He's going to need to come up super clutch in this moment right here.
Oh, well, not much time to work with. He's going to have to make a serious play right now, but I think he might get some unlucky timing, and he'll get taken down just like that. 2 rounds going the way of Phoenix.
Yeah, that's a big 2 rounds coming in, and noted, ladies and gentlemen, I'll try bring up that mini-map in the settings for you in just a bit, as we'll cross over to that in just a second, as the team swap sides and we get ready for round number 3. So far, it's all gone in favor of this Phoenix Gaming roster, and let me see, do I have a second to be able to bring up that map? So we go to Codcaster, ladies and gentlemen, we bring up mini-map, and then we're all happy at the end of the days. Look at that.
Professionals.
Feedback coming in from the chat and gets implemented. All right, so Nova once again with the sniping opportunity decides to walk away from that. One Smash gets a huge opening grenade on Frosty.
Oh, very nice play there. Pre-nades on this map are also huge, as you can tell. Obviously, there, if you don't get those trophies out in time, it looks like you're going to be sent to an early grave. And now slight advantage going the way of Bleh. Never mind, traded immediately, and now 4v4.
Yeah, all right. So Mickey picks up that with a sniper rifle. Scheme's going to be able to take down Smash. At the moment, we are down to 3v4. And from this Bleh Gaming team, it doesn't look like that they're aggressively pushing their advantage as soon as they get those kills. I mean, by all means, I know they want to be able to respect this roster, but Nova comes up with a massive sniper rifle shot up against his opposite number. And at the moment...
Very close.
Very, very close indeed. And it does look like we're into a 3v1 situation as Nova's left with a sniper rifle to do all the work. It does look like he will get taken down. So once again, another round going in favor of Phoenix. But just to revert, maybe take a step back from Bleh Gaming side, what do you think that they're doing wrong?
I think, like you said at the beginning of this round, if they get that opening pick or whatever, they're just playing way too passive for the way Phoenix is playing. So they get that first pick, and then they know they've got that advantage. I don't know. I personally think once you've got that slight advantage, you should really capitalize off of it, push over to the site that you got your pick on, and then easily get control, maybe find another pick if possible, and then get the bomb down, play it off of that. They are playing way too slowly for the size of this map. I think that's what their main thing that they need to capitalize on. And I mean, they've been getting the first blood, so I mean, they're doing something right. They're just not been able to capitalize off of that.
100%. And right now, having a look at Nova from the defensive side of things, I will go across as I usually do to the attacking team, but Nova's trying to play some sneaky angles from his side. I saw Mickey with the sniper rifle a little bit earlier on. I'm not too sure if he's rocking it. If the game will let me switch, there we go.
He definitely is.
He's got that in hand at the moment and trying to see if he can spot our players. There's two on his left-hand side, one in the mid side. Ooh, tries to go for the peak. But it does look like the team will be making that rotation towards the B bomb site. At the moment, first blood has not been found.
And now, with under a minute left, something needs to happen here. But if you look over at your mini-map there, it's looking like it's going to be a B commit coming out of the boys over at Phoenix.
Yeah.
They will be slowly making their way over there, trying to get control, one like yard at a time, if you call it that. But once they get control, they get the bomb down, and then it's all on to the boys over at Bleh to do the retake. If they get the bomb down, of course.
It looks like Frosty's going to be the first one trying to get aggressive towards this B-bomb side. I'm surprised that they haven't pushed in just yet. And there we go. Frosty now releases essentially the collar and the rest of the team pushes in at once. You can see that is a coordinated break from their side, as it does look like Scheme's going to be able to pick up two in quick succession. Once again, Nova, my friend, just like a glacial spike, he will be feeling a bit cold on that side. The Nova feeling all alone at that. Well, he gets Frosty though. Well done.
Some condolence kills. Some condolence kills. But that was really, really well executed there from the boys at Phoenix. They retook that site immediately and just got the kills, like opening a can of worms for the boys over at Bleh, and they just got taken out. Bomb down, all of a sudden, left in a 1v5, not much you can do with the sniper, and just like that, 4 rounds going the way of Phoenix.
Yeah, that's going to be a difficult pill to swallow from the squad that, honestly, they've got potential in the search and destroy. They've been picking up early nades, they've been picking up early snipes, but
100%.
It's just the follow-through that it has been lacking at this point. As let's jump on board with Zoom and let's get a full focus of what he's going to be doing from his side at the moment. It does look like it is going to be a B-side push. As not going to be challenging that. Also not pre-aiming that as he comes out of that corner, as Mickey will be the first one to get taken down. So now Bleh has an opportunity, but just like that, they bring it back to a 4v4 as Pluto picks himself up a kill.
What a bit of a stark contrast now coming off of the last respawn where Frosty was a bit of the top fragger. He's yet to find his first kill, but he might just walk into the sights of Nova there. However, he gets away with his life, just doing a little bit of damage. But yeah, you don't need to get kills if your team is doing as well. It's just keep picking up, going on 5 streaks, just picking up 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden it's a 2v4.
Yeah, and the bomb does get put down, so now it's left to Vulpra and Nova yet again. The bomb looks like it's going to be defused right here, right now, as Vulpra, will he be able to pull the water down on it and bring down the situation? Oh, Vulpra comes up with 2, and now brings it down to a 1v1. 1v1. It is Roasty versus the Waterman, known as Vulpra. No! COD timing, my friend. COD timing. He just looks away at the wrong second, checks the staircase, and Roasty, to be honest, he's been coming up clutch today. Let's be honest. Oh,
absolutely, man. Shooting straighter than I've ever seen. He's getting kills, 4 pieces. I mean, first round he got 4 kills. Who does that? With an AR as well. Yeah, a nice healthy dose of COD timing there for Vulpra. Gets taken out as he checks the wrong corner. I suppose we've all had that, and a little bit unlucky. But now, like I said, 5 rounds going the way of Phoenix.
Yeah, 5 big rounds, and now the biggest mountain to climb will have to try to be done here from this Bleh Gaming lineup. And it's going to be a bit of a tricky one, especially with Phoenix firing on all cylinders, except maybe for Frosty at this moment, 0 and 5. Very much a 4v5 in a lot of ways, it's feeling like. But who knows, could be providing some decent intel and comms to his teams. I don't want to be too judgmental here. As it looks like Pluto will be able to pick up the first blood there as he takes down Flash.
Yeah, so not a good start for the possible final round here for the boys over at Bleh. They need to start finding these kills. They need to get their control. I mean, they've gotten the bomb down once. I think there's only been 1 plant over from them. And, yes, only 1 plant. So not looking very good in terms of stats on their side either. They are struggling to find those trades and kills, but I don't know. I don't know what the answer is here, to be honest. I mean, Phoenix is just looking too good. I mean, look at this. The kill feed is just nothing but red. And the bomb is down.
All right, bomb does get put down. So once again, it is the cold water squad that is Volpro and Nova. As at the moment, Nova trying to get that snipe on the left-hand side. Roasty's going to be able to take down the player that he took down in the previous round. As right now, Nova is, unfortunately, he's just left to running, and understandably so. If there was a place to fall off on the map, I'm pretty sure he'd even do that. Because right now, it doesn't look like he's going to even challenge it. He's just going to say, you know what, I'm going to take a knee and just go chill on this one. So for right now, it does look like Phoenix will be rising and continuing their rise, as it is going to be a 6-0 search and destroy on this one.
Wow, that was a bit of a landslide of a game. I mean, it was looking really good off of that first round. It was Bleh got the first set of kills, had the advantage. However, like I said, can't capitalize on it. Phoenix looking like a well-oiled machine. I mean, what can you do to counter this, Nick? I have no idea. I've got nothing in my giant playbook, which is not so giant because I don't play this game that much. But there's nothing to counter it. I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just like a well-oiled machine. But having said that, it looks like Frosty managed to find his first kill in the final round. So it's looking up for him.
Yeah, so not too bad there from Frosty. Just to break it down in terms of score overall, if you guys are just joining us, it is 2-0 in favor of Phoenix. I'll cross back to the gameplay just for a second here, as we can have a look at the stats. And it does look like Roasty coming up absolutely massive, then followed closely by Schemes and Pluto with 7 a pop. Mickey with 5. Frosty, as you mentioned, got that 1 kill. Oh, so important for him and his team to be able to make sure that that could happen. Crossing over to map number 3, it's going to be Domination, and we're going back to Gunrunner yet again. And Domination, to be honest, it's one of the highest or steepest learning curves, especially for older teams coming across into this one, just because it's a brand new mode in a lot of ways for Modern Warfare. But that being said, how do you find the transition of Domination into the current outline? Do you think that that is going to also change when it comes down to the next Call of Duty title?
Look, man, I do not like Domination as a comp mode, and I definitely want control from Black Ops 4. I mean, Black Ops 4 had a lot of things wrong, and it didn't do a lot of things right, but its comp was phenomenal in terms of Call of Duty, and I definitely believe that their third game mode, being Control, was the best one we've ever had as a third game mode. And if they can manage to bring that back in, that's definitely going to be a game changer, because Domination can be so unforgiving, and with the spawn system here in Modern Warfare, where it's based off of squad spawning, and no longer you can't control the spawn, get an anchor. You can easily go for a quick flip, and then all of a sudden the whole map just goes out of control, and then advantage going the way of the team that you were trying to flip. I don't know. I just don't like Domination. It's hard to cast. It doesn't play well, and it can be so punishing.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I don't mind Control either. Domination's a bit of an interesting one. It was one of the older rotations that somehow has managed to find its way into Modern Warfare. I think it's an interesting one in terms of how it plays out, but with the current spawn systems, it becomes a little bit dangerous at times, and you're not too sure where people are actually going to be popping out of. I do like that, but I'm going to throw a little bit of a crazy one into the mix. Capture the flag, old school. I love that game mode, and I want to see it back. Unless the next COD is kind of floating in the air, then maybe we can have some blitz action. But we're gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm a firm ambassador for Control. I definitely think that was the best third game mode we've had. But Capture the Flag is also good, but it's also slow. I think the main issue that I have with these sort of third game modes is how slow they are compared to like the other Respawn being Hardpoint. Domination can have its moments where it's super close and it comes down to the wire, but then in the next game that we cast, it'll be a blowout and we won't know what to talk about for the next 2 minutes because a team has just been able to secure 2 points for the 90% of the game. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's that kind of a coin toss that I'm not a big fan of when it comes to competitive.
Yeah, for me, there's a couple out there. I just want us to be able to have a concrete third game mode. I mean, Uplink has been fantastic in the past. I just don't think 100%. It translates when it's boots on the ground. And when it comes down to what that next mode could be, I want to throw a complete thing into the mix and say, go back to 4v4. Is that just me? Am I going to get hate for that? Am I going to get some hate for that?
I like 5v5, man. All other competitive first-person shooters are all 5v5, so I don't know. I don't know. I think it'll slow down the game an extreme amount if it goes back to 4v4, but working off this new engine, everything like that, maybe it's not a bad thing, because I mean, we all thought this game was going to be so slow, and people managed to master the movement and turn it into almost like a weapon. So, yeah, I definitely think that it could be for the better or for the worse, but I do prefer 5v5. Just have one extra player to get. Sorry.
To be honest, what I loved about 4v4, I think game speed is determined by two things. It's movement speed, and then the second thing from that side is map size. So,
sure.
To be honest, it can change, but I think there's just a little bit more, even from an attachment to players. I don't know what it was about 4v4 that connected me to the players that I was watching more. It felt like you knew their roles a little bit more, but you also had so much responsibility because you didn't necessarily have as many floating players in between. Essentially, you're holding control if it was a hard point rotation, between what your ARs had to do as anchors.
Sure.
That was your role, and nobody was going to come in and substitute that role at that point. So it was a much more defined process in terms of who you were as a player, I felt. But once again, I've been out of it long enough from a player's perspective. So by
look,
all
I definitely agree with you. I definitely agree with you in that form. When it comes to 4v4, your responsibility as an individual player increases by so much because there's not always that other person to catch your trade, right? And if you, while we're blathering on, it looks like there has been a bit of a change between over at B, and however, strong advantage going the way of Phoenix as they managed to find the AC setup once again, and possibly a triple cap coming through here. But going back to what I was saying about 4v4, it's your roles are a lot more set in this one. As I think the new role that's been coming in more and more with 5v5 is that flex player that can play possibly Slayer or possibly main AR and get that anchor, and that just wasn't really a thing when it came to 4v4. You had your set role and you had to play it, otherwise your whole team would suffer for it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was I felt like there was a lot more back and forth between attack and defense, is that you would have to get yourself a little bit more set up to break as a unit. I think this one is even less forgiving, to be honest. It's a lot more about trades in Modern Warfare with this 5v5 mechanic, but it's a much faster game in a lot of ways. But for a narrative story, in terms of how that plays up, I'm not necessarily against having a slower play out so you can watch the players break it down a little bit clearer. But either way, we have what we have, and for right now, we're definitely watching one of the best 5v5 teams in South Africa. That is none other than Phoenix. And to break down the scores at the moment, Phoenix currently doing pretty well from their side of things as they look to get the triple cap.
That triple cap, oh my.
And this is going to be a difficult one from Bleh Gaming from their side of things. I do see in the chat that there's a couple of players here in the tournament itself. Kov's also saying, okay, 4v4 took skill. Okay, fair enough. And it seems that people are enjoying the stream. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, by all means, please let us know. We've tried to make sure that it is done to the best of our ability. But for right now, crossing back to the action and back to the players, Frosty is off to a decent start with 10 and 7. And the man has been defending oh so well as well.
See, so this is exactly what this is what makes Domination, I suppose, an interesting game mode. What Frosty is doing there is almost like the perfect play for what you want to be doing if you've already got the AB set up or CB set up. You get your control of your middle flag, and you have a spawn flag. Then you go decap the opposition spawn flag, and you just stay there like a pest, which is exactly what he was doing, and just stops them from securing that point, getting even more points for themselves. And if he manages to stay alive for as long as he did there, it's just like that hill to climb back in terms of points in Domination is so unforgiving. For everyone who doesn't know how it works, I'm pretty sure everyone does. It's 12 points per minute of point held. So if you have AB, it's 24. If you have all three, it's going to be 36. And if you just have one, it's obviously going to be 12. And if you keep this AB set up and possibly a decap and looking like a triple cap now, it just becomes so much harder to get back into the game, and that's exactly what's happening here with 27 seconds, triple cap, 100 points. I don't know, I think this mountain is just a little bit too tall to climb for the boys over at Bleh.
Yeah, you'll see at the moment the Phoenix lads are actually overextending, and that's going to force the spawns out going towards A as well. So they're going to have to leave one person back to try defend that A site as we bring into that top map control at the moment. If they pull back, you'll see the players spawning on that top right-hand corner, and that's the best lockout that they can because it's still quite a rotation to try get towards that C flag. So perfect plays there from Phoenix when it comes down to Domination, and it's kind of a good opportunity for those that aren't that familiar with the game to really focus in on that map and see how are they taking advantage of these? Because essentially the main thing with Domination is you're trying to break over that mid line. You want to make sure that you can control that B, and then essentially you want to split that so they can start spawning as far away from their home flag as possible, therefore giving you more control over the map. Domination, all about map control, and as we take a look at this top map side, I want to just have a little bit of a look here of exactly how Phoenix Gaming are going to be playing this one out. It looks like they're going to go for the open left side, trying to get that cover. They will lose out on a couple of trades. B site will get covered here from Smash, and he's going to keep that line of sight, and he's going to even overextend a little bit on there. He needs somebody to come back and trade with him, because right now Smash has got so much on his shoulders when it comes down to just the job that he's supposed to do. He's got now 2 teammates that are following through, so if he picks up another one, he will get traded there. But now where is your teammate to try get the opposition? This is where they really need to try pick up the cover. Bleh Gaming actually not that bad from the starting point as they pick themselves up 2 flags.
Oh, absolutely. But it looks like I'm not sure if they managed to full cap that B there, as it doesn't look like it has been completely captured. And now it looks like Phoenix is getting control once again, and they're going to be getting that CB setup. But it's important to note that that first round, it was Phoenix that had the favorable spawns on this map. The AB setup is what you want. And now with Bleh, with that AB setup, I think they're going to be looking for a flip here. It's going to be Phoenix. And if I am correct here, it does look like they're going for the flip. They're going to be getting that A. And if you look over at your mini-map, it looks like they're all spawning out at C. It's going to be Bleh Gaming. And now the AB setup back in control. Possibly in them.
That's exactly the spawn that the Phoenix Gaming wants them to have, is towards that back top left-hand corner of the map. Behind those railway yards. It just becomes so tricky to rotate your way out of there, especially considering how many corners there are just to get to the C flag. So it allows you pretty much an easy triple cap from that side. And at the moment, if we take a look at the loadout, I know it's something that we actually haven't looked at too much, but from Phoenix Gaming side, currently running with 3 subs, 2 ARs, whereas pretty much a mirrored setup from the other side. So as we jump back on board, maybe taking a little bit of a step away from too much of the analytical kind of stuff, let's have a look at what Phoenix are doing on the ground. As at the moment, I jump on board with Roasty my Toasty. Oh, commentators.
As you do that, he does die, unfortunately. But yeah, looking over at the stats again, I mean, we are still looking a little bit at the analytical things. This is where the trades are coming in, and in terms of slaying potential, it's just Phoenix. They are just getting the kills when they need to. They get control of the map off the back of their kills, and they're just keeping them off of that B flag. Like you were saying, you want to get control of that B and then push them out from that, which is exactly what they're doing. They're doing a good job of that. And now I think with 2 minutes and 30 seconds, over 100-point lead to come back. I'm not too sure if Bleh can do this unless they really start pulling finger and they need to get at least a minute of triple cap. Even that won't even change them.
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, but I was rather impressed, essentially in the starting push of the second half of this one, of how Smash actually held his own. I mean, the man's actually playing really well with sub in hand at the moment, and is definitely a player I want to keep an eye on for the future. From Nova's side of things, he's always been the last person staying alive by, I'm not too sure whether that's by intelligent play or just by his teammates dying too quickly. I'm not too sure when it came down to search and destroy. So definitely 2 players from their side that have stood out for me so far. So Nova and Smash doing pretty well. I'd like to see exactly how they develop as players as well, notwithstanding anyone else from the team, but I think it's important that we keep an eye on the narrative of who the next future stars are also in Call of Duty ZA.
100%. And yeah, I think to go back onto Nova's being last alive, we often find that your snipers in SG will be the last alive because they will be hanging back a little bit further. And if their team does get a little bit over aggressive, which is, I don't think Bleh was even doing that. I just think they were just getting outgunned. And then all of a sudden, Nova found himself in 3 1v3s, 1v5s, 1v4s in that game. Not the best thing you want to be doing if you have a sniper and a pistol in hand.
Yeah, no, it's going to be a tricky one to say the least. But for right now, we are on board with Smash, who's just recovering some health as Mickey is on his left-hand side. He will be able to pick up one, tries to follow up with a second. Oh, once again, just taking that shot a little bit too early, maybe when he didn't need to, as the 2 players on flag would have almost been a guaranteed kill for him. And at the moment, it does look like Nova's going to be able to defend that C flag. Just barely, though, as they try to regain some kind of control, but with 35 seconds left on the clock. Trout, it's I don't think it's going to happen for the Bleh Gaming team, who will take their first game 3-0.
Last time I took maths was in high school, and this ain't adding up for me. So I think that's going to be a GG going the way of Phoenix. They played super well. They got the kills when they needed to. I mean, Frosty's 30 plus kills. Respawn seems to be his stomping grounds, and this Respawn side of Phoenix is just so strong. And you do love to see that. And I definitely love to see them play those top teams right at the top. You know what I mean? I definitely think that this is number 2, if not number 1. I mean, they can definitely give Astro a run for their money, if you ask me. But anyways, going back to the game, 204 to 81. GG's to both teams, but Phoenix will be taking this in a hot 3-0.
Yeah, big 3 over to the lads in Phoenix as they get their, essentially, their ACGL Community Clash, Call of Duty Community Clash off to an absolute flyer of a start. Pluto doing pretty well with 23, but standout player was Frosty once again on the respawns. Absolutely massive plays. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bleh Gaming, unfortunately, will lose their game. First one, 0-3, and we're going to have to wait and see what will transpire as we move forward with that one. Our next game will actually be, I believe, if we take a look, it's going to be Red Gaming taking on WRG, and that is going to be at 8:30. And before we jump into that one, Trout, that was essentially our first cast together. How you enjoying it?
I am enjoying it, and I have to say, I mean, you make this clear. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I mean, I'm not a very old guy, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to come out and have a chat with me, and we can talk some Call of Duty, talk the games. I really enjoy it, and I have a great passion for it, and I have to thank you for that. I hope I'm not letting you down too much.
No, absolutely. It's been fantastic from our side of things, but I think the biggest thing we need to make sure that on this journey that I think the biggest thing about the ACGL or Call of Duty Community Clash is highlighting the community, right? I think it's something
100%.
that has been absolutely important and has been imperative. We've tried to do it with the previous league, if you guys remember that one. Unfortunately, things got put on delay, but what essentially we're trying to utilize this for is as a platform to be able to build going forward, to be able to use the statistics both from a social perspective, but from a viewership perspective, to see where can we take this going forward. We don't. I think by now I think we've proven to everyone we're not fly-by-nighters when it comes down to hosting tournaments for the community. We want to make sure that we're providing you guys with as much as possible from our end, as well as other communities from that side. So I think it's just important that we see it as that, and we can actively work together. And also highlight some of the casters like yourself that have been putting in the work. I know Wutini from his side of things is keen to get involved. Delray from his side keen to get back onto the mic. I believe Zach from his side as well. So looking forward to seeing more casters, and if it is something that people are interested in terms of being able to cast, make sure that, one, you put in some homework, do cast, make sure that you show an incentive towards the community, because essentially that's how you get on board, and by all means, get in contact. We'd love for you guys to figure out a way or a place if there is something that you're interested. But further from that, I think from the league perspective, that these group stages are going to be a huge, unique opportunity for people to test themselves against some of the most skillful players in the country, but also to put a spotlight on themselves. I'm glad that we got to see from Bleh Gaming side of things, and to be honest, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, Smash and Nova kind of stood out for me as players there. I can't wait to see their journey, but I'm looking forward to seeing exactly what their teammates are able to do in, if it's the Challenger knockout, or hey, if it's even the Premier knockout a little bit later, to see exactly what that narrative develops for. And I'm quite excited of where that might go, because to be honest, some of the players these days that are the standouts, like Frosty, I remember seeing that guy at LANs when, I don't know if he was 14 or 15 years old, that we were hosting them at MWeb. And it's good to see these guys growing up and still being a part of the community.
Yeah, man, I suppose you've been in the community a little bit longer than me, and unfortunately for everyone, I am on this console, so I was cut off on the comp side very harshly, rather. But yeah, let's go back to the whole community thing. Nick, I can't thank you enough for how much time and effort you specifically in ACGL has put into this community. I mean, this year has been, I have to say, one of the harshest for competitive Call of Duty I've seen, especially here in South Africa. I mean, pro players over on CDL just not enjoying the game. I mean, that's been the case for a lot of even casual / semi-pro players here in South Africa. struggling to find that middle ground. This new engine, new movement, punishing spawns. I don't know, there's a lot wrong with this game, but there's a lot right with this community, and I definitely think you're managing to capitalize with that, and it's really starting to show through with this whole community event. And I can't say on behalf of the community, but thank you so much, man. I do really appreciate what you do for us.
Absolutely. Well, you are only as good as the people that you surround yourself with, and we've got a great team here at ACGL. So it's definitely shout out to them and the crew who's in the chat, who's all around on social media, but who's also, more importantly, on the Discord, making sure that they can provide people with support at the end of the day. So it really is the team. And to be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just seeing Carl. It made me laugh. He was like, Nick, I was 11 or 12. I mean, can you believe it? It's like,
My word.
it went all the way back then. And I think, what was that team? It was, anyway, it was one of the teams at MWeb that ended up winning, and I just can't remember, but they had a team, they were full of attitude back then as well, and quite a spunky team, but it was so classic. But hopefully the revival comes. I want to get this back out into the live environment as well, so we can make sure that we've got the LANs going again, get that community vibe going, and that's essentially what this is all about, bringing people together and making them happen. Opulence, there we go, opulence, that's what we love to see. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a little bit of a breather. We'll be back at 8:30. I've got to get the next match set up and underway. So, Trout, I'll catch you in a bit as we get ready for match number 2. We'll see you guys at 8:30.
Enjoy the music.
Ain't no love like a real love, but it goes so fast. All tied up like a captive. I'm to you. Used to pit on my life, standing on rainbows, playing it cool. I haven't felt this in ages, and I've no more patience. So won't you please stay a bit longer? You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Stay a bit longer. You're making me stronger, making me stronger. Making me stronger.
'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. 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 You cashed in on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now. Casting on my promises. You know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out. 'Cause I'm done cleaning up your mess. Found myself in my regrets. I've become a little stronger now. A little stronger now.
Open eye, feel the waves cut through me. Hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me move. Can make me move. Can make me
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia? Darling, I'm just so fed up with these expectations. They keep weighing me down.
this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe the home was just you and me. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Do you remember how you held me then? Now you got me reaching out. And do you see you got me falling in more times than I can get out? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, how long do I got to keep you, to keep you? Down in the deep of my mind, I crawl for you and you're always inside. Down in the deep of my mind, trying so hard not to keep you, to keep you.
Hey, what is up, everybody, and welcome back. It is time for game number 2 for this evening, and it's none other than Red Gaming taking on WRG. And I'm joined by the delightful Trout himself. How you doing, Trout?
It was a good little break there. Got to go grab some water, rehydrate. I'm sure you did the same thing. So yeah, how are you feeling about this new match? I'm quite new to this Red Gaming roster. I don't think I know anyone. So this is going to be a new one for me. So you mind filling me in on these guys? Are there some veterans? Are there some new players?
Some new blood, I think, from my side of things. I don't think I'm familiar with, to be honest, anybody from the squad. So who knows? Maybe Red Gaming will be firing on all cylinders here today, taking on the powerful team known as WRG, and I've got too many stories in my back pocket about this WRG lineup, and I'm not going to bore you with that. Rather, how about let's take a look at the maps that we are getting ready to watch. So, jumping across to the map set, we've got Gunrunner, then we've got Arklov, Search and Destroy. So starting off very similar to our game number 1 this evening. Then we've got Domination, Hardpoint, Search and Destroy being Petrograd, Hackney Yard, and Petrograd respectively. So, without further ado, I believe that these teams are just about ready to jump in. And from your side, Trout, any predictions? And also, I want to ask the same from the chat. Predictions before we jump in?
I think jumping into this, seeing as though we don't know anyone on Red Gaming, I like the story of an upset, and that this is the underdog team that no one knows of, and they're just going to come out firing on all cylinders. But having said that, I have personally casted the White Rabbit Gaming winning an SA COD Battles final. So I definitely think it's going to be another 3-0. That's my prediction.
Okay.
But I'm gonna go with, I like being proved wrong, and I like Game 5's round 11, and I'm pretty sure so do you.
Yeah, I definitely do. And for right now, it's going to just have to be one of those wait and sees, right? What is going to go down here today? And
100%.
Looks like we got some people from the chat, and I believe Grizzly Bear saying 3-2 to Red Gaming. So rather than leave us to our guesses, how about we figure out what is going to happen by just jumping straight into the game. So without further ado, let's cross in to the gameplay, where it is going to be Red Gaming taking on WRG.
Right, so it's going to be an identical start. First 2 maps, pretty much the same in every way, shape and form, but every map is played differently. And let's see if they can. I'm not exactly sure who got favorable spawns. I wasn't paying attention to that point. Which team had coalition? I do believe it was Red. And last I checked.
I do believe so. From this side of things, let's have a look. I think Red Gaming should have that one set up from their side. As we cross into, the players are spawning in. And we get ready to jump into game number 1 here, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to, this is essentially the second game of the evening. We saw a clear and quick 3-0 a little bit early on, as we have a little bit of a look at the loadouts. So it does look like 3 SMGs, 2 ARs being run from Red. WRG is going to be running with 3 SMGs, 2 ARs as well. And we can jump on board. I think I've got some interest on this Red Gaming team to see what they're going to be able to do.
100%. Nothing like learning new things on the fly, right? And this is definitely a new team to learn. And with favorable spawns, they are looking like they're going to be able to hold the first set of first hill for the first bit, as they manage to keep the spawns. But if you look over at your minimap there, you look at number 8, that is going to be Mr. Tipman. He's trying to sneak his way through, get the kills when he can, and flip the spawns for his team, and possibly get set up for PT. Like I said on the first map, on the first game that we casted, it is a fight for keeping the opposite team off of this first hill and getting control of the spawns for P2, and they're looking like they're doing a good job now, as the first bit of points is only coming after 40 seconds of the first hill being open.
Alright, so at the moment it does look like Red Gaming are going to have the rotations for right now, but they will be sharply pushed by none other than the Sharpie himself as he comes in, rotating out through the back. He has taken quite a fair bit of damage, but managed to get himself into a comfortable position as WRG get that rotation to come through. And as we take a look, they manage to control the spawns.
Oh, and if you are a Red Gaming fan, you do not want to see that. That was clinical from the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming. They flipped the spawns, got the kills, and now they're chaining together the first 2 kills. And now the onus is shifted over to the boys over at Red Gaming as they try to break this P2.
Yeah, so Red Gaming at the moment have a brick wall that they're seemingly bumping their heads up against time and time again. And at the moment, Frost Warhog will see all of his teammates getting taken down. Is raining White Rabbit Gaming at the moment as they pick themselves up 5 kills in quick succession. holding that heal, but now you've got to start thinking about those rotations, as Sharpie is going to be the first one to react, as it does look like he will get a challenge here, and just like that, it is going to be Frost Warhog that picks up that kill.
A bit of a late rotation, looking like it is going to be coming out of the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming. However, they managed to bully their way into the second heal. Can they do it again? Getting set up now is going to be the boys of Red Gaming. They will be getting the first little bit of time on this hill. But if you look over at your map, there's looking like a perfect pinch being set up from the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming. As I say, that the pinch is supported, and the first sort of semi-decent amount of time going the way of Red Gaming.
Yeah, this is exactly what Red Gaming need from their hold, as all the players rather start to funnel through the railway. Will they be able to get them into a position to hold them out? At the moment, it does look like they slowly but surely are trading those angles out RWRG as they get themselves into a comfortable position to try and get some points back on the board. Now it's all about just trying to clear this warehouse, and at the moment it does look like Sharpie's going to be able to pick up that most important kill on the player on the staircase. We'll be able to follow up quite nicely, and this is the hold that they wanted.
Oh, sure. There was most likely only going to be one more push with 20 seconds left or so on this hill. If I was Red Gaming, I would have cut my losses and gone over to the next hill, but you can only do that so much in a hardpoint game, as the more you do that, the more points the opposite team does get. And if you look over at your minimap, it's a bit of a shit show when it comes to spawns, as it is going to be the boys at White Rabbit Gaming that are set up on the next hill already. So now, onus is back onto the boys at Red Gaming to get set up, get some good time on the hill, and now, no one on the hill at the moment.
Alright, so at the moment, it is going to be, I believe, the WRG team once again with those rotations in hand. As we take a look at the minimap, it does look like the furthest player forward is Antivist, who's trying to get himself in, but unfortunately, once again, Sharpie shuts out, and Sharpie's been on an absolute roll here, but Maxi from his side not doing too bad either, as he was up on a 6 spree. Now we're going to jump back to Sharpie's on 3 at the moment, still racking up time on the hill.
Yeah, so that's going to be 3 hills in a row now for the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming as they get set up. And if you look over again at your minimap, it looks like they've got the spawns, and they're going to be getting set up for this P5, which is one of the most difficult hills to break if you've got a good player sitting in that hill, getting that time. But now, looks like it's going to be a hard flood coming over the boys. They managed to pick up the spawns. It's going to be Red Gaming. They might be able to make the play here, flip the spawns, get the first bit of time. 3 seconds left, and I think it's going to be going the way of Red Gaming on the pop.
Alright, so Red Gaming getting the good early rotations here, as they will have 2 players in, 1 player gets taken out, and now will they be able to come up with a trade? The pistol gets whipped out. Will he be able to come across? No, Maxi, you dirty man, you, as he comes up all beastly with a knife in hand and says, get out of my heel, son. Maxi picks up the vital kill to make sure that the rest of the team gets cleared out. And
that is exactly not what you want to see if you're a Red Gaming fan. Kill feed all white. White Rabbit Gaming managed to bully their way in, even with the favorable spawns going the way of Red Gaming. They were set up for max, what was that, 15 seconds before the contest came through, and then it was broken wide open like a can of worms by the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming. And now, with 20 seconds, we'll be seeing our second set of rotations coming through now, as we will be going back over to P1, and it's going to be White Rabbit Gaming again on the right side of the map, getting set up for P2. These guys are thinking 1, 2, 3 kills ahead, which is exactly what you want to do if you are a clinical hardcore team, which White Rabbit Gaming is.
Alright, so at the moment it does look like Tipman's locked down into the furnace, but it does look like he'll finally get cooled down as he gets removed from that area. At the moment it is going to be Beats throwing down the trophy system, making sure that there's going to be no rogue grenades that will be catching him off guard. And at the moment it is Sharpie just holding tight. He's got 2 kills on board. I do want to jump over with Beats, who takes the play around the corner, currently on 6. And I'm so sorry. Commentator's curse all over your face, good sir.
Not to call things too early, but this is looking like a little bit of a repeat of the first match we casted earlier, as it's going to be, this lead is slowly developing further and further out of the grasp of Red Gaming, as now it's over 130 points and in control of the hill, and spawns for the next hill is going to be White Rabbit Gaming. I think this is slowly starting to slip away from Red Gaming. They had a good flare, I'd call it, off that 3rd hill, but now back in the driver's seat is going to be White Rabbit Gaming.
Yeah, I think from White Rabbit Gaming side of things, it's just that they've proven themselves, not necessarily just on gun skill alone, even though it has been a solid foundation, is that those rotations as a team, as a unit, knowing where to go, where to trade, just maybe a little bit of a class different from their opposition at the moment. As let's jump on board. I want to give some time to this Red Gaming team. Antivist has been stepping forward as the most predominant in the kills department, whereas Frosty's been picking up that heal time. Let's stay on board with Antivist and see what he's been getting up to.
Oh, here comes the first set of pushes out of the boys at Red Gaming onto this P2. Looking like that first push is going to be broken immediately by White Rabbit Gaming as they manage to get the kills when they need to and still secure the point. If they manage to hold this whole kill, they only need 25 seconds or so on the next one. And if you look over to minimap, rotations are already coming through. Like you said, just being the more clinical team, they're getting the rotations, they're holding scrap time. Just not much you can do to compete with that.
Yeah, and at the moment, Sharpie's going to be sitting down on the railway side as he'll be essentially trying to utilize that head glitch on the right-hand side, but the players seemingly coming in from the left, catching him slightly off guard there. Tipman's going to be picking up scrap. So from the other side of things, Red Gaming trying to get those early rotations, but they do get a burst of kills on the left-hand side as you see that splayed with the red. And unfortunately, not being able to flip those spawns, so they're still going to have the hard push to try and make it through onto the next hill.
Well, I mean, it only takes one good push out of the boys at White Rabbit Gaming. They need 24 seconds. Realistically, they get one good collapse, which is what they're trying to set up at the moment. But off the back of Beats getting 2 massive kills to break this hill wide open, gets a contest, however, it does get traded. But only 30 seconds left on this hill. They can still win it here. It's going to be a bit of a tough battle as it slowly starts to slip away from the boys over at Red Gaming.
Now, it has to be said, Maxi has essentially taken the collar off of himself and unleashed the fury that is his submachine gun. As at the moment, the man is on 35 kills, and I definitely want to just stay on board with him to see how are you doing this? As it's like a player bursts across his left-hand side, another player is going to peek through the right-hand side, but we're just not going to have enough time with him because WRG come up with the win, and that is going to be map number 1 in favor of the Rabbits.
Nice clinical hard point. They got the rotations, they got their kills, they got somebody like Maxi getting the kills when he needs to, picking up 2-3 pieces around the corner, got the movement cracked. Just a well-oiled machine, and it's really showing through. I mean, they 100-point clubbed them, looking really, really strong. Another good team to keep your eyes on if you are a supporter of the Call of Duty scene here in South Africa.
All right, I think we might also need to give WRG a secondary color that's a little bit better than purple on white there. So I'll have a look at my side because it does make it a little bit difficult to read, it has to be said. But WRG pick up map number 1 there. And from their side of things, it's looking pretty good, it has to be said. I mean, so far, the team has shown themselves not really having too much of a challenge. But as we go through into this search and destroy, you've got to feel that the slower game mode should favor Red Gaming better than that Respawn just did.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're trying to match the pace of a top respawn team in South Africa, you're gonna come up short, like as shown in the previous match as well. If you're shooting straight, your movement's good, you get your trades, and you got the rotations. There's not much you can do. However, it is going to be search and destroy on our next map, and that's a different ball game altogether. And it's on the same map, so if they can get those important picks, like I said off the start of the last game, get the trades, get control of the sites, they'll be able to sneak around in possibly even the game. So the onus now is really onto the boys at Red Gaming, as we know and we've seen what the boys at White Rabbit Gaming can do. So now it's really time to step up. If you are a Red Gaming fan, this is what you want to see. And yeah, I've got to get back in there. I don't know, we obviously can't hear their comms. We can't have an Astro Gaming listen in. But if I was in those comms right now, I'd say put map 1 behind you, pick yourself up, search and destroy is a different ball game completely, and we can do this.
Yeah, as things slow down a little bit better, maybe it's an opportunity for Red Gaming just to reanalyze, refocus, and essentially bring themselves back into this game. We'll have to wait and see. As much as we can deliberate in the commentator's side of things, it's going to come down to the players. And Red Gaming definitely do have a chance on this search and destroy, especially with Arklov. We know that there's a lot of long-range engagements for snipers ready to be able to stand tall on this one. So let's wait and see as we transition to game number 2 here. I believe that we're ready from our side of things. I'm just checking with the players. We're pretty much good to go. They're all showing me thumbs up from their digital characters that are slowly walking around the monotonous gray landscape that is surrounding them. And for right now, it looks like we're set to jump in. So without further delay, how about we go into game number 2 here. It's going to be Arklov Peak Search and Destroy. It is Red Gaming taking on WRG, map number 2. And when it comes down to Arklov Peak, what do you think are the key components for teams to be able to focus on?
I'm going to keep going back to it. You got to be able to get your site control, and you got to get your trades. That's really all it comes down to. And you got to be able to make those in-game decisions, which a lot of teams in South Africa aren't able to do. They commit to a certain site, and if that site isn't working for them, they often panic, and then it's really not working out for them. And then the round slowly falls apart from there. But if you look over at your map, it is going to be a hard B push coming out of the boys at Red Gaming, as they are the first to attack on this Arklov Peak game number 2.
It does look like a hard push on this B-bomb side indeed, as the smokes will get taken out, and at the moment the player will be taken down on the well side. Dunks now pushes himself into a position where they should be able to keep this momentum. Now, this is where I start to worry for them, is that when they get those first kills, it's, okay, sit back and wait. But what are you necessarily waiting for there? You've got a little bit of momentum to catch opposition off guard, and essentially, right now, they've all just become sitting targets. So, despite having fiber, Rayos is left into a position where he needs to slow things down, as the players are caught up on either side of him. He is essentially the white bit between the dark bits of an Oreo cookie at the moment, as he will get himself closed down and chewed out. And there we go. It is going to be first round going off to WRG.
It was a disappointing round for the boys over at Red, seeing as though they did get those first picks. They had the aggression that they needed to get control there. But ice in the veins of White Rabbit Gaming, they called it, and you see, if you looked over at your minimap, there was a good pinch being set up. There wasn't somebody watching for the flank from Red Gaming, and they just collapsed on the whole 5-man roster, and it went down to a 1v2. And of course, when there's a player in the front and behind you, not much you can do. First round, going the way of White Rabbit Gaming.
All right, one thing we didn't ask, chat. Predictions. Let us know. What do you think is going to happen in this one? Of course, WRG taking round number 1 there. I do want to jump on board and see what they're getting up to on their side. They're getting a little bit naughty. They're heading over to B as well. Pretty much a rinse and repeat. And Antivist, you better come up clutch right now, because the WRG bunnies are currently hopping their way into the bomb sites and currently going for the plant. Antivist will actually pick up that first kill. So despite the bomb getting planted right now, it is going to be a 3v2 situation. Or rather, a 5v3 situation. Scrap that. I'm going to call it a 4v2 situation. You know, the more I say it, the more they get kills. I can't keep up.
Well, we can just put a slight advantage going the way of Red Gaming, as they have managed to stop the bomb plant and they have eyes on the bomb. So now they can set up a play here, defend that bomb, and now it's 35 seconds for White Rabbit Gaming, these two players, Mr. Tipman and Vitals, to go pick up that bomb planted and find 3 kills. I mean, if there's anyone going to do it, it's definitely going to be these guys, but let's see what they can do.
Unfortunately, Codcaster glitching out slightly there, not allowing me to go into the first-person perspective. But now Dunk's left all alone in a 1v2 situation. And it looks like the door will get closed as the shots will get fired. Will he be able to connect? No, he doesn't find the full follow-through as Dunks gets left to run away. And let's see what he's going to be able to do from this side. There's a play on his left and his right, but he will be able to pick up 1. And he does go down. It is 2-0 as WRG double their lead in this search and destroy map number 2.
I definitely think that was the right play coming out of Dunks here to play the rotation, and just unfortunately for him, they had 2 players and he was 1. He managed to find the kill. If it was if he managed to get away with that kill, and if it wasn't for the pinch, it might have been a different situation. But anyways, no point in looking in the past, as we are 2-0 down, going to be Red Gaming.
All right, so once again, it is going to go over to Red Gaming on the attack here. As let's see, will it be a B or an A push? It's looking more than likely going to be an A push, but we're going to have to wait and see, as it does look like they might be slowing things down slightly from their side. No, as I say that, they keep the push going, and this is what we like to see, a little bit of aggressive play, as Dunks furthest forward with the bomb. That's always a bit dangerous when your bomb carrier is furthest forward for your team, because you know as soon as that player gets taken down, look, you've got the call out.
As you say that, as you say that.
You've got the call out now that bomb is down on B, and as you can see, WRG gets their full rotations, but Maxi's saying, you know what, I'm going to do my own thing over here, as I'm going to just be watching down the well, and just like that, oof! Almost getting the comeback there during the takedown, but it does look like Maxi gets the kill there on Antivist as he comes up from behind. It's dirty play.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I really like the play from Frosty Warhog there. He knew that there was a player down there on the side of the map, and he immediately just left his position, a power position of that, to go find him, to go hunt this player, rather than just waiting and playing for trades around the bomb site where the bomb was down. I don't know. It looks like as soon as that first blood came through from the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming, the push fell apart for Red Gaming, and now 3-0 down.
3-0 down, and WRG now on the attack. Will they send this one up the left-hand side, or will they be moving all the way across at the moment? Once again, come on, Codcaster, work with me, my friend. Just there we go. As oh wait, there we go. As now we can cross over to WRG, and we're on board with Tipman from this side of things. I don't think there's any sniper rifles. Let me just have a look. No sniper rifles going to be called up, but WRG is seemingly going to be making a play for this A-bomb site. Three players shifting down the left. Rayos coming up with an important kill. Dunks with the follow-up. Rayos, no, takes on Dunks. Oh no, as soon as you feel that they've got momentum, they stop it in their track with a well-placed Simtex on a teammate. And at the moment, from Tipman's side, he spots out a play on the right-hand side, waits for him to peek, and there we go. Sharpie picks up to himself. So it's once again left down to Antivist in a 1v2.
Yeah, and that was also, again, advantage going the way of Red Gaming. I mean, they still have the possibility here. There is going to be a 1v2 situation for Antivist to clutch up. He will be making the play here, coming through mid, looking for this flank. Has 40 seconds to find the first blood, looking for the second. Is going to be pushing up now. Might get some lucky timing here. He might just find it.
There we go. Huge plays there from Antivist, coming up clutch when you need to. Also pop the dead silence, coming up from behind. So there we go. Red Gaming with the round on the board. It's good to see.
Absolutely, that was a perfect play there. He made the right call to rotate back through mid, got some lucky timing, found the kills, nearly choked it, but in the end managed to find the kills, and now the first round going the way of Red Gaming. However, there was a bit of too much of a sweat on that round, seeing as though they had the advantage and they cut their own momentum with that TK.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one for Red Gaming to get back into this one. But to be honest, they're showing signs of life out here today. So that's exactly what we wanted to see in the search and destroy. And for right now, looks like once again it's going to be Red Gaming on the push, coming up with a successful defend here. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's first to 6, and it does look like a B push might be in progress. Let's see if they can keep that momentum, if they pick up that first blood, which was absolutely huge for them last time.
Sorry.
No problem at all, as it does look like a grenade will trigger on the right side. Once again, they get stuck in the middle courtyard, and this has really become a little bit of a problem for them. They're not necessarily feeling confident enough to push in as the players on the staircase. That's Beats, and then Simtex gets whipped out, and unfortunately that's not going to be good timing for him, as that left him vulnerable.
Well, Killfeed looking a little bit white if you are a Red Gaming fan, as now it will be looking, Maxi looking very aggressive. He might be able to find 2, he does with the Ram. I wasn't sure, of course this isn't GA's enforced, as that is going to be the 4th round going the way of White Rabbit Gaming off of that nice aggressive challenge coming out of Maxi there.
Alright, so Beats picking up that final kill. That was, I believe, Antivist once again left with it all to do. He's like, guys, please, can you guys just calm down and stop leaving me with this job of trying to come up clutch against WRG. But that being said, Red Gaming now on the defensive side of things, and WRG on the attack. Let's see what they're going to be able to do. I'm going to jump on board this time around with, let's go with Sharpie. I feel like I haven't seen enough from the Sharpie.
Yeah, that was another also very perfect round coming out of the boys over at White Rabbit Gaming, as they managed to keep their composure. And that's what I'm talking about. The difference between these two teams at the moment, it seems to be that their choices in game, like having to make decisions on the fly, seem to be a little bit better than Red Gaming, and that's exactly what they're doing, as they managed to get the bomb down, and the first 2 trades go through. 4v4, 45 seconds to work with now, and it's going to be Red Gaming with a retake.
Yeah, and giving essentially the bomb side over to WRG there, just to knock down the door and say, hey, we're here, we're taking over. And it's such a difficult site to take over once bomb is down and the team has the control. But from Red Gaming side, let's see what they're going to be able to do. At the moment, there's only one player trying to pick up the player on the flank. There's 2 players that get taken down as Dunks and Antivist get a kill themselves. Good reply there from WRG as they bring it back to a 1v2 situation. And that's going to be Vitals if it allows me to cross over, who will be watching. And 8 seconds left on the clock. The player runs in towards. No, you need to turn towards the bomb site. And just like that, there's not going to be enough time as he jumps through the window, says hello and good night. And the bomb will go off. Another round going in favor of WRG.
Absolutely veteran play coming out of Vitals there. He knew exactly when to peek, just add that little bit of extra bit of panic, like right there. What he did, you just check bomb. The other Red Gaming player saw him, panicked, didn't get on the bomb, and that 1 extra second of panic managed to save him the round. And that's going to be 5 now for White Rabbit Gaming, 1 away from making the series 2-0.
Cool. For right now, it's going to be a WRG that are sitting quite comfortable at the moment, and I hopefully don't want to say that I believe that was Warhog's watch saying no connection. You know what? At the moment, they need to find a connection. And for Worldwide in particular, he's been struggling. Currently 0-6. Needs to find a kill on the Search and Destroy. Needs to support his teammates at the moment. The Simtex is not going to be able to find his target, as it looks like an A push is once again installed. They're not going to be bursting through the smoke this time, as it does look like we have a trade. However, this trade once again gets called out. And there we go. A positive move here, as it does look like Reyes is going to be able to pick up a kill himself. So now it's going to be down to Beats in a 1v3. This is exactly what Red Gaming wanted.
Absolutely, and now we're looking for the player over here from Beats, as he will be peeking wide to see if he can't find one. Tags up one, gets away with his life, trying to see if he can't still make the play. Finds one. Now Bomb is down. A 1v2 situation, unfortunately gets caught in the scissor and will be taken out. And that's going to be the second round in a row for the boys over at Red Gaming. And you know what they say, if a combat starts, it's got to be one round at a time, and that was certainly a round.
Absolutely, and it's going to have to be this Red Gaming team that, to be honest, they haven't left themselves with an easy challenge if this comeback is going to be brought to fruition. As WRG now on the attack, we're going to jump across and see what is going to be possible, what will be plausible, and what will result right here. At the moment, it is Vitals leading from the front from this WRG team. Currently has only died 3 times thus far, with 11 kills to match. Last time they had a really easy inroads to this B-bomb site, and it looks like they're going to say, you know what, you guys want to give us the site, we'll gladly take it.
And I don't know about again, this is an interesting play coming out of Red Gaming. They gave so much side control, only sending one player over to the B side, and they're going to be punished heavily for that now, as the bomb has been planted, 3 people down, and now it's a 2v4 for Rios and Mr. Worldwide to clutch up. I don't know, I think it might be a little bit too late, but I have been proven wrong before.
Alright, so it's down to Rios at the moment. He will be able to pick up one now, trying to find out the follow-up. There's only 28 seconds left on the clock. He needs to make some movements, and he needs to make those quickly. Tries to check outside the window. It is going to be WRG with the follow-up. Oh, he tries to get the knife, and he does come out on top. It is WRG gutting their opposition. That's a dangerous bunny right there.
Indeed, man jumped up. I'm not sure. Okay, this might be a little bit old even for you, but did you ever watch Monty Python in search of the
yeah.
What? Yeah,
I know what you're talking about. Yep.
The killer rabbit. That's
Yep.
one of those perfect example of that. And boomer jokes aside, 6-2 going the way of White Rabbit Gaming. A nice little flurry of skill at the end there to close it out. And now series is 2 up. But I say this every time I cast, if there's going to be a reverse sweep, it has to start now in Domination, which will be going over to St. Petrograd, if I am correct.
Absolutely correct, as it's WRG in this map number 2 taking the win, so essentially doubling their lead in the overall point counter. And for right now, it does look like we've got Gunrunner Domination, but if Red Gaming need to turn this around, they need to win Gunrunner Domination, then Petrograd, and then go back to Gunrunner. Wait just a second. I believe those are the previous map sets. No, we're going to Petrograd, then Hackney Yard, then back to Petrograd once again. There we go. So those are our next maps that we need to be able to get set up. Any tips and tricks that we would like to whisper in the ears of the Red Gaming team at this moment?
Control of ambulance with a very, very strong AR. If you get that side of the map locked down, you'll be able to pick up B and keep it that way. Don't overextend. This map specifically, because of the way the spawns work, you will be punished hard if you overextend and flip the spawns. And it'll a lead will very, very quickly develop if you overextend. And I think it's very important to note, it will be, I think it's going to be Red Gaming with the favorable spawns, as the CB setup on St. Petrograd is exactly what you want. And if they can keep that CB set up for at least half of the first round, they'll be able to really make a play here.
All right, so there we go. Your words of advice. Now, ladies and gentlemen in chat, do you think Red Gaming have what it takes to be able to mount a countback, especially on this Domination? It's going to be a tricky one, that has to be said. But for right now, it does look like all the players are ready. Let me just double check. I saw a little bit of movement there, but they're back in their teams and ready to get this one going. So without further ado, how about we jump into map number 3? It is going to be St. Petrograd, and it is, of course, Domination. And it's going to be an interesting one. I really want to see this... this team from Red Gaming come out strong and come out essentially challenging and feeling a little bit of aggressive. I feel like Search and Destroy, they had opportunities once again, but as soon as they found themselves in the courtyard, they gave up. They stood still and they said, okay, what now? How are we going to move? Same kind of thing on defense. When they're trying to defend that B bomb site, they said, you know what, let's just give it over. I can't reiterate enough how big of it is as a mental game, just to commit to areas that your opposition won't expect, just so you are able to essentially take them off of their momentum. And hopefully that's what we're going to be able to see Red Gaming do here today.
Absolutely, but it looks like the unfavorable spawns are going to be going the way of Red Gaming. They're going to need to either play for the push, for the flip here, excuse me, or get control of that B site as quickly as possible. If you look over at your map, it's going to be a hard push coming out of White Red Gaming, as they're doing exactly what I said, getting control of ambulance, keeping that river side of the map locked down as they secure B.
Alright, so at the moment from WRG, it looks like managing to try get themselves a little bit of map control with the furthest player push forward, I believe, is Sharpie on that B site. He will get taken out. So at the moment, all things even Stevens, as it's going to be WRG trying to hold down that ambulance side, which you pointed out a little bit earlier was so important to be able to control.
Exactly, so if you look over at your minimap there, number 0, that's going to be vital. He's playing it perfectly, as he's not overextending too much. He's just dancing around that Bakery L side, getting the kills when he needs to. And now, as you can see, the first real attempt at B is coming through from White Rabbit Gaming. They only managed to get a quarter as they are stopped in their tracks. However, I think now with some coordinated kills, it will be going their way.
Alright, some so coordinated kills do come along, and just like that, they managed to pick themselves up the B site. Now it's all about the takeover as well as the hold, as Red Gaming and WRG respectively are going to have to battle over that B site. I think player number 9, Beats, is in that all-important position on top of Ambulance at the moment, and he's going to be able to hold that cut, where it does look, interestingly enough, it has to be said, from Red Gaming side, that they will be pushing both A and B, while Worldwide is left to hold C.
I agree with you. I'm not exactly sure what happened there with the spawn system. I do think it was White River Gaming that overextended just a little bit and managed to flip the spawns. And they went to go pick up A, and while they had C in control. And it looks like they got a bit punished there, as there was a triple cap for a bit of time here, and they're going to be capitalizing on it, as C is finally going to be picked up by White River Gaming. But now, control of the map, looking well and truly in control of Red Gaming. Not exactly what I was expecting.
No, that's fantastic. I mean, from their side of things, they made sure that they made the most of their opposition's mistakes, which was that overextend, which allowed them to be able to get a placement. Now, taking position over that ambulance was Frosty Warhog, who is now getting taken over, whereas it does look like bottom restaurant control is still held here from Red. And it's going to be WRG that tries a sneaky cap on that A site, and will be able to hold it. No, Maxi gets taken down, and that should be able to be recapped. So, full focus coming in from Red Gaming. It looks like they're still going to go for a sneaky C here.
I'm not exactly sure if this is overextending or if it's an actual strat coming out of White Rabbit Gaming. As if you look at your minimap, they managed to keep Red Gaming spawning in that P1 position for hardpoint for a good amount of time, as they managed to pick up the AC setup now, possibly going for the B as they flood on through. But if you look over, there's another weird spawn there, for that to be number 9. That's BT spawned all the way over at Bar. I'm really confused as to how the spawns are working on this map. It looks like there's a bit of pandemonium around the whole map, as now it's going to be the AB setup going the way of White Rabbit Gaming.
You can see how those overextends just created a mass amount of confusion from both teams, let's be honest, at the moment, as it looks like players were widespread. But Red Gaming now trying to push through this left-hand side, trying to gain control over that ambulance, but it's Beats holding it down from his side on this right-hand side at the moment to try to keep them away. That looks like it will get traded out, giving them a little bit more room on this left-hand side of this Domination to try to push through. Red Gaming tried to hold out. It's their number 1 player, that's Dunks, coming up strong, but it does look like, once again, maybe a little bit of commentator's curse on his side.
Well, having said that, now it's going to be just over a minute left, and a slight advantage going the way of White Rabbit Gaming. I think we're going to have to see at least one good last push at B coming out of Red Gaming. However, if you look over at your map, that map control is so well and truly in control of White Rabbit Gaming, as you have somebody in that breakthrough window, you have somebody on ambulance, just getting the kills when you need to, just keeping them off and keeping that map control. And there hasn't been an overextension as of yet, so it looks like the AB setup is just staying well and truly in control of White Rabbit.
Absolutely. WRG finally getting that map control, but it does look like they will get shoved out. Red Gaming now have an opportunity, as almost all players are left to spawn yet again. So it's going to be Dunks jumping on to that B site. And to be honest, I've been impressed in terms of how Red Gaming have reacted from this one. They've been looking pretty strong in terms of actually just challenging WRG, essentially a tier 1 team in South Africa, feeling quite perturbed by a relatively unknown.
Absolutely. I mean, it's just true testament to their willpower. They're not going to take this lying down. I mean, 72 to 10 points worth of difference in a domination game is really not that much if you're going up against a top tier team, like you were saying. So they really are making the plays when they need to. Albeit though, there could be some mistakes coming out of White Rabbit, or it could just be some unfortunate spawns coming through from the game. But having said that, the kills have been coming through, as if you looked at our previous performance in Respawn, they aren't getting outslayed as much as they were. So they really are putting up a good fight, which is what you love to see.
Absolutely. I mean, WRG, it's not a clear and defined lead, as probably most would have predicted at the halftime stage. But now, as the spawns flip, it's once again Red Gaming. If they manage to do this on the bad side, let's see what they're going to be able to do on the good side of things, and see if they're going to be able to hold.
Absolutely, and I think what's very important here is they need to start off strong and not overextend. I've seen what a lot of teams tend to do if they have the positive spawns. They push really hard too quickly to get control of Bakery, and that just goes back and shoots them right in the foot. And B will be picked up. But having said that, it looks like the first set of trades might be going the way of Red Gaming, as they will be pushing up just a little bit, try to get control of that map.
Does look like the first set of trades do go in their favor at the moment. A player will jump on B a little bit prematurely there, as it does look like Dunks is going to be in need to try follow this one up. And it does look like he jumps back, and Sharpie just going to create some match confusion as he tries to get towards the back end of the Red Gaming team.
And well, that's exactly what you don't want to see if you're a Red Gaming fan, as now they are looking to make the play over and keep that flip, and which is exactly what they're doing now. They have sent a little bit of resources, is going to be Watch Out Gaming to get that flip and get that C control, as B is going to be picked up by the boys. Ooh, looks like a little bit of body shots coming out of Maxi there. A little bit of extra love onto those bullets. Not exactly sure why, but anyways, here we are. AB set up in control of White Road Gaming.
Alright, so AB, and at the moment in between C is Vitals, just making a little bit of a nuisance of himself at the moment. Tipman's going to be following through on the right hand side along with Sharpie. As it looks like once again they're going to try play for the CB push. As they make that overextension, nobody's left really to cover B, so that's going to give Warhog an opportunity with Worldwide to capture that. And at the moment, C and B being in control of this Red Gaming team, and maybe a little bit of ill discipline leaking through from WRG at this point.
I definitely think so as well. It could be a little bit of the case of when now they start looking for kills, and they've got this bit of a lead developed, and they're feeding themselves a little bit, and they're looking for those kills, and that when they're looking for those kills, pushing out, going to go get those kills out towards the spawn flags, it often causes overextension and a bit of a pandemonium spawn, which is exactly what's happened right now. People are spawning all over. I mean, people are spawning in P1 hardpoint. Battle going down over B, and I do think it is going to be White Rabbit Gaming who will be picking up that AB setup once again.
WRG currently have essentially their entire team rotating around the mid. You don't see that nice structured line across the map in terms of being able to come up with compensation for essentially those trades that you really want to come into focus. But as you slowly see that will start to get enforced now from WRG slowly. That being said, it's all coming around this mid push at the moment. Should unfortunately I was going to say should Dunks come up clutch, but he didn't manage to do that as WRG once again regain control. But look at this flip. It does look like WRG will be able to gain C, whereas the flip will come into rather disfavor of this Red Gaming team, as it looks like they'll capture A and now need to fight control of B once again.
Well, now it's all up to White Rabbit Gaming to put Red Gaming in the blender, as now if you look over at your minimap, they have players in those power positions in that top hazmat with their ARs looking over your train side. Not at the moment. It looks like they've managed to leave the ambulance side wide open. If that number 2 can manage to see through here, he might be able to make the play. But again, White Rabbit Gaming pushing for the kills and causing the overextensions, and possibly another flip coming through here. But they've managed to keep Red Gaming spawning all the way back at bar, and they've just slowly developed this lead now, as a triple cap and a decap will be needed for the boys at Red Gaming.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, I mean, just from a pure top-down point of view, I think WRG are trying to play this in too much of a kill-dependent style. I mean, from their side of things, yes, you're in the lead because of some basic foundational play, but I think they're just hunting way too much here. And maybe it's because they're comfortable with that 2-0 lead and just want to maybe see what goes in their favor, experiment a bit. But to be honest, from an overview, if I was one of their top team competitors, I'd be trying to play this into a draft or into a veto system and saying, you know what, if they feel confident on this and essentially are only, what, 40 points difference between Red Gaming and WRG, which by all means, and I'm taking nothing away from Red Gaming is that WRG are that tier of team that should really have a bigger score difference than there is right now. If I'm one of the top tier competitors, I'm going, you know what, we need to try and veto them into a position where they have to play St. Petrograd and Domination.
Oh, I also agree with you, but in the same breath, I definitely think if you're looking at this as another top tier team, you're thinking, wow, these guys have got no respect for this other team, seeing as though they're just hunting for kills rather than playing structured. Because you can see it's exactly what they're doing. I mean, Sharpie throws a grenade and runs directly into it, looking for the kill, rather than just staying back and just playing a little bit slower. And I mean, they're getting the kills when they need to, and that's obviously how they're capitalizing off. But we're just going to keep repeating ourselves here. It's not the correct way to play Call of Duty. It looks fancy and cushions your stats.
Yeah, but the thing is, when you're going into matches, and this is one of the mentalities that I've always stated when it comes down to games, what's quite important is that you need to make sure what you're practicing is what you're doing, and what you're playing is something that translates, because essentially these little ill disciplines can sometimes sneak into your game over the long term, whether you realize it or not, and that's something that they need to analyze. I think WRG are happy, yes, that they got the win, but I think they could have done it in a little bit more of a convincing style from their side of things. On the other flip side of that, Red Gaming well reacted. I mean, you guys really got yourselves into a position where you surprised, to be honest, me from my side of things. Really well done across the board. Actually staying strong and staying toe-to-toe with WRG on that one. So overall score, ladies and gentlemen, it is 3-0 to WRG, who will take the game number 2 of this evening. So 2 3-0s in a row. We've kept it nice and short for a Tuesday evening from our side of things. Short and sweet. Absolutely. So, I mean, Trout, that's essentially from our side of things pretty much it for this evening. And I'm sure we'll be having you alongside in a couple more casts as we go forward. And, I mean, taking maybe a little bit of a look at the competition, what are you hoping to see a little bit more of as we push forward?
I'd like to see some more of those heavyweight clashes, you know what I mean? The Astras, the White Rabbit Gaming, the Phoenix, the X1s, all going head to head. My personal team that is entered in as well, that'll be the MGO, the Luna MGO side. I'd like to see them playing and showcasing what they've got on their side. I don't know, but to go back on to just to commentate a little bit more on the match that we just watched, this domination. GG's to White Rabbit Gaming. They were the better team, no doubt in my mind. I just think, like you said, some ill disciplines, a little bit of sloppy play coming through there, where they could have, if they capitalized off of that, they could have done even better. And I'm a firm believer in you got to do it your best. And I agree with you. You practice what you preach, and if you practice and practice and practice, and then when it goes to game time and it all falls apart like that, and you do that against a really good team, you're really going to suffer.
Absolutely, and I think from that side of things, WRG, maybe some lessons that they can learn just having a little bit of a look at the VOD. From our side of things, the VOD, if you guys want to be able to catch it after, if there was any action that you missed, it will be on the YouTube channel, but I'm pretty sure that we'll also be uploading it to the landing page for the community clash itself. Further from that, any teams that you think that we need to be able to look out for? I've got a couple of fixtures that I believe that we will be live streaming. So it wasn't scheduled on Thursday that we would be live streaming, but I believe it's a game that just kind of made me feel...
Has to be done.
Yeah, it has to be done, right? So I believe that's going to be Phoenix taking on Astra. I'll just have to double check that from my side of things. But further from that, any teams that you believe that we need to be able to keep an eye on going forward?
I think you got to look out for those underdogs, right? I mean, that Bleh roster, if you put them in against a sort of tier 2 team, it'll be a really close match as well. Like I said, the Luna team is also really competing at another level right now. World Stars, nobody sleep on World Stars. They are certainly out to play. They might be able to take a game or two, even from the top players. Yeah. So, there's a lot of young talent and a lot of old talent that are really trying to strut their stuff here in this league. And I definitely think we're all going to be here to see it. And I'm super excited, as this was just day number 1.
Just day number 1 indeed. And for round number 2 of fixtures, yes, I mentioned the one that we'll have on Thursday, but I believe X1 versus Motion Esports will be taking place on Saturday, as well as World Stars taking on TNT Esports. So those should be quite exciting games. We're going to be adding more features to the stream as we go, but we just want to make sure that this one went up and started running. So I've got to say, from my side of things, Trout, thank you so much for joining us here this evening. Thank you to everybody in the chat as well. Any final words from your side, Trout?
Thank you so much, Mr. Nick Holden, for allowing me this opportunity. I had a blast. I really do hope to do it again with you sometime soon. And thank you everyone who came through for all the support on this first stream of the new league. And yeah, I'm really, this has got leaps and bounds ahead of it for the Call of Duty community here in South Africa, and I really do appreciate that. Thanks again. Thanks everyone who's watching. And yeah, don't forget to follow all the socials of ACGL, watch the VODs, just keep the support up wherever you can, and I promise you it will be reciprocated from the boys over here at ACGL and their perfect team.
Hey, too kind of words from yourself, Trout. Thank you so much. It was an absolutely enjoyable cast. Loved it all, and hopefully we get to do it again. I'm sure we will. From myself and the rest of the ACGL family, we'd like to thank you guys for your ongoing support. As long as you provide the support, we'll try to do the same for you. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, I'll catch you later. Cheers.